Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our SWAC football head coaches media session for Monday, November 18th. We'll begin at approximately 10:05 with Alabama A&M head coach Connell Maynor. He will be followed at 10:15 by Alabama State's Eddie Robinson. Cedric Thomas with Alcorn State will join us at 10:25. Coach Raymond Woody with Bethune-Cookman will be at 10:35. Coach James Colsey, Florida A&M, will be joining us at 10:45. Coach Mickey Joseph with Grambling State will be at 10:55, Coach Alonzo Hampton with Arkansas Pine Bluff will join us. At 11:05, Coach Kendrick Wade with Mississippi Valley State will join us. At 11:15, Coach Bubba McDowell will join us. At 11:25, Coach Terrence Graves with Southern University will join us. At 11:35, Coach Chris Dishman with Texas Southern will join us at 11:45, and Coach T.C. Taylor with Jackson State will conclude our press conference, joining us at 11:55. We do appreciate all of our media participants that have taken some time out of your schedule to join us today. We'll be back momentarily. We thank you for your patience. Once again, for all of our media participants that are joining us on the call, thank you for taking some time out of your schedules to join us. If you could please ensure that your lines are muted unless you are actively asking one of our coaches a question. Please wait to be acknowledged prior to asking your question. And please, if you do see several questions there in the queue, please limit your opportunities to ask questions to one initial question. If there's additional time, feel free to re-raise your hand to get your other question answered if time allots. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Maynor with Alabama A&M. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Andrew. How you doing?
Doing great, Coach, and appreciate you as always, Coach, for taking some time out of your schedule to join us. Coach, obviously, Saturday off as your team played on the primetime matchup there on ESPNU against Grambling State. If you could please start us out with an opening statement recapping the game.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to congratulate Coach T.C. Taylor on winning the East and Coach Graves for winning the West. So tough conference, and both of those guys did a great job. They got great teams. It's going to be a great championship game. Look forward to watching it. Um, Grambling, we knew Grambling had a good football team, man. Coach Joseph is doing a great job with those guys. You know, they beat the top two teams on our side, uh, and Jackson and State, and then the other three losses that they had. I mean, they was like within 8 points, 6 points, something crazy like that. 1 and 2 point losses. They could have very easily come in there undefeated or with one loss, and so we knew they had a good football team. They was playing well. They got Crawley back, and we knew it was going to be a dogfight. So our guys was prepared, and um, they got out on a little lead on us. They 17-3, and we got a field goal right before half, which was big. Cut the lead to 11 points, which is 2 possessions, and we knew we just had to stay solid. We gave them a touchdown on our offense, fumble on going forward, and but the ball was out of his hand, so it was a fumble. They scored, and that put them up 17-3. And then we got a field goal right before half, which was huge. And they got the ball coming out, and we got a turnover. We forced a fumble, and then we threw a post route for a touchdown to get us right back in the game, cut it to 3 points. And we got another field goal going into the fourth, right before the fourth, and tied it up 17-17, headed to the fourth. Great football game on ESPN too. And then we got a safety. They snapped one over the punter head, and we got a safety to go up 19-17. And then we added a late field goal to stretch the lead to 5 and force them to have to score a touchdown to beat us. And our defense was able to get off the football field. So we wound up making one more play than them. They got, like I said, they got off to a good start, and then we went on, I think, 19 unanswered points, and was able to close it out. But it was a good SWAC football game. And it was a great win for us. All wins are good.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. We'll now open it for questions for Coach Maynor. First question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach Maynor, good morning. How you doing?
Doing good, Doc. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Tell me about your defense in the second half and how elated you were for them to make the necessary stops to keep Grambling out of the end zone to try to win the game.
Yeah, the defense is playing good, man. You know, we're missing our starting linebacker, Cortez Andrews, who's right up there in the conference in a lot of the categories. He's probably going to be first or second team all conference, and he couldn't play. He was out. But the backups, next man up, stepped up and played well. You know, they had 17 points at halftime, but like I said, we fumbled the ball and they scored. So that was really, we only gave up 10 points. And so I thought the defense was playing well. Offense was moving the ball. We was kind of shooting ourselves in the foot a little bit. So we was confident that if defense could go out and play like they played the first half, and then we just start executing a little bit better on offense, that we were still in the game. We could come back and win the football game. And we did. But yeah, the defense played good, man. They was causing turnovers, got some interceptions. And they kept us in the game. And we was able to come back and win the game because of the defense.
And tell what do you see about your opponent with Mississippi Valley coming up this week?
Oh, Valley's playing well, man. Coach Wade got those guys believing. They play hard. They never give up. They always in the game, especially early, man. They jump out on people 14-0, 14-3, 14-7 all the time, man. It's like, I don't know. I mean, it's early too. They got these leads, and then you know, for whatever reason, the other teams get back in the game and wind up somehow beating them. But you know, they got up on FAM the same way. They scored 24 points in the first half on FAM and was able to hold on. FAM outscored them in the second half 11-0, but they had a big enough lead with 24-10 at halftime. They was able to hold on and win. And they did something nobody haven't done in 3 or 4 years. They beat FAMU at their place. So they got a good football team, man. They dangerous. They hungry right now. It's going to be senior day this week at their place. So they're going to be jacked up. They're coming off a huge win and the senior day. So they're going to be ready to chomp. They got us on their schedule as next. So we got to be ready to play. We got to play well.
All right. Appreciate you, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Next question goes to Mona Stapleton.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Congratulations on your win today. Or not today, excuse me. This past week, sorry. Coach, you for over the season have had second half pushes where your offense and your defense seems to come alive. You scored 16 points and you made that strong push against Grambling. What type of adjustments were made at halftime that led to that increased offensive production, including the passing game with Xavier Langford throwing 2 touchdown passes?
Well, it was Cornelius Brown. Cornelius Brown
Oh,
played.
okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Like I said, we was kind of shooting ourselves in the foot a little bit. We had a couple of penalties. We missed some throws. And so we just had to settle down on offense and execute better, take care of the football. And that's what we was able to do the second half. We didn't turn it over. We was able to execute, made the plays that was there to be made. And but they still did a good job on us because we wanted to get a touchdown there at the end on the goal line, and we couldn't get it in. And I had to kick a field goal from the 1 yard line, and to make it a 5-point game, because I said if I score a touchdown here, the game is over. But if I don't, all they need is a field goal to win the game. So I said I'm gonna make them have to get a touchdown to beat us, because the way our defense was playing, I knew it would be difficult. So, but the offense, we just had to settle down, stop shooting ourselves in the foot, and execute better.
Oh, thank you, Coach.
You're welcome.
Next question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you, Perry. How you doing, man?
You know it. Super fantastic, Coach. And you?
I'm doing good, man.
Talk about Cornelius Brown's play, Coach. He played a phenomenal game.
Yeah, he played well enough for us to win, Perry. He played well enough for us to win. And he executed better in the second half. Not so well in the first half. Again, we was held to 2 field goals. But you got to give Grambling credit too. They got a good defense, and we knew that coming in. So it wasn't like you're just gonna go out there and score 50 points on Grambling, man. They good. They can stop the run. They good in the secondary. They stingy. And so you got to execute at a high level. Again, Coach Joe's got those guys playing well, man. They are playing well. We knew that coming in. Just look at their games, look at their scores. They got a good football team, a good solid football team. So, but yeah, Cornelius played good, man. He played well, and hopefully he can play well these last 2, and we can see if we can't finish the thing up 7-5.
And Donovan Eaglin, Coach, you talk about the run game. He had 25 rushes for 123 yards. Talk about his play.
Yeah, well, he continued to do what he's doing, man. He's been all conference the last 2 years, and he's headed that way again. He's our workhorse, man. We got to give him the ball, man. We try to keep some of these offenses off the field and run the ball and wear them down. And he got most of his carries probably in the second half, and that was by playing, because again, Grambling had a great defense, so we kind of want to go sideline to sideline a little bit, spread them out, wear them down a little bit. We opened up the game with 5 wide receivers, so that was our game plan. Our game plan was kind of wear those guys down up front because they're so good and they're so stout, and kind of get them a little tired, and then feed Donovan in the second half, and that's what we was able to do. So it worked out perfect.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
Currently taking questions for Coach Maynard with Alabama A&M. Any final questions for Coach? Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speak to you again next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Good luck
Yes,
to
sir.
everybody this week.
Appreciate it. All right, we will move ahead to Coach Robinson with Alabama State. Once again, if you do have any questions for our coaches, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. Please wait to be acknowledged prior to asking your question. And please, if you do see several questions there in the queue, please limit your questions to one initial question, potentially a follow-up. If we got additional time, feel free to re-raise your hand and get additional questions answered. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Robinson with Alabama State. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How's it going?
Doing great, Coach. Appreciate you. And as always, Coach, thank you for taking some time out of your schedule to join us. If you could start us out with an opening statement, recapping your team's most recent outing versus Jackson State.
Yeah, just kind of following up Coach Maynard. I just want to definitely congratulate Coach Graves, Coach Taylor, Jackson State Southern for making it to the championship game. I think tough conference fight for everybody, and those two teams are definitely the two best that are left standing. So wish both of those guys the best of luck and best of luck in the Celebration Bowl as well. And but this weekend played Jackson State at home. You know, both teams had a lot to play for, had a chance to kind of close that race in the East to make it extend to one more week. Thought it was a defensive, physical football game. Both teams came out well prepared. We knew that we had to stop Mulligan and Terrell and those guys. We know how dangerous they could be. So defense came out playing hard, did a good job of stopping the run. Was up 3 in the first quarter. They scored a touchdown right before the half. One of our kids had bad technique, but their quarterback, man, he had just a terrific throw, a timing throw to the post. So took advantage of the bad technique, but they still executed the play, and it was probably one of the best throws I've seen all year, just the anticipation of what a receiver is going to be. So you have to tip your hat to those guys when they make those type of plays and you move on to the next one. Came back with our running back. Kinsey had some big long runs and got us back into the game. Was down 14-10 and had a safety at the end and gave it up a 16-10. Was able to get the ball back and had a chance to do something at the end, but just couldn't make anything out of it. But my kids played hard for the entire game. I thought their punter was exceptional. No, it's one of those situations where every time we punted to their guy, and unfortunately we kept punting to Terrell instead of getting that ball out of bounds, and he had a chance to score a couple times. We were able to tackle him, but it just changed the field position. And their punter, no, he took our good returner out of the game, McMinn, and just putting it deep and inside the 15, right on the line where he couldn't even return it. So that kicking game was big. It's the hitting yardage that kind of hurt us from that standpoint. But it was a good physical football game. And like I said, once again, congratulations to those guys who won in the East, and wish them the best of luck going forward.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach Robinson, how you doing today?
Going well. How's it going, Doc?
I'm doing good. Barring from the fact that we saw a great defensive battle with the game between Alabama State and Jackson State, towards the end of the game, there was altercation, and where the conference just levied. Did you talk to? Excuse me. Did you talk to those players that were involved in the altercation at the end of the game?
Yeah, absolutely. And we know the energy involved in these type of games. And, no, I don't think either team had a concession speech or something to deal with what happens if you don't win. Everything we was focusing on, hey, we're winning the game. And so when you don't win and it doesn't go your way, the young men have to understand that you have 60 minutes to play a physical, hard football game. And at 60 minutes and 5 seconds, at that point, you go back to being a normal citizen. And then at that point, you got to go back to moving forward and getting through that. And so that's something that we've definitely talked with all the guys on our team, not just this week, but is be in control of yourself at all times. Like, that's my rule number one in life. I tell the kids that I have the same standard. I go out there and make a mistake late in the evening or do something like that, then I won't be the head football coach at Alabama State anymore. So it's not just the level of restraint that we want the kids to have, kids, coaches, everybody, administrators, is just the way the life is, and they have to understand that. So we've definitely addressed it. Some kids won't be playing Hornet football anymore, and unfortunately, but that's kind of where we are. You have to have that zero tolerance, and that's how we're moving forward with it.
All right, appreciate you, Coach.
Absolutely.
Next question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How's it going?
Super fantastic. How are you?
Going well.
Coach, did you just say that some kids have been dismissed from the program?
No, we have a couple kids that we've suspended indefinitely. And then at that point, you kind of take that for what it is. Could be short term, could be long term, but some won't be playing this weekend, and that's unfortunate. But at the same time, you can't put your personal interests ahead of what the team and the university goals are. And so it's a tough lesson for young men to learn. And you can always say, hey, they're good kids, but when good kids make a bad decision, just like adults, there's repercussions for it.
And are those names that can be shared at this time?
Not at this time.
Okay. Can we talk about DeMarcus Cunningham and his play this week?
Yeah, I mean, he's an exceptional player, high energy player. One of the kids that I love, will be graduating coming up this December 4th. Plays hard every play. And so you like to have kids on the field like that, and just competes every weekend.
Okay. And lastly, Coach, your quarterback play. This young man stepped up for you. Well, before we won't talk about Kareem, let's talk about DeQuan Kinsey. 13 attempts, 144 yards. Talk about his play.
Yeah, I mean, he was off to a great start early in the year and had a nagging turf toe. And so hasn't been able to reach all of his personal goals this year, but for us, he's a kid that you love to have in the room. Just works hard. He's only been here 1 year. He's out of Abbeville, Alabama, so he's coming back home. And so, but now he's healthy, and you can see when he's healthy the type of things that he can do. And so, just one of those guys that you love. I mean, he has the speed, the power, and it can go the distance. And those type of guys are dangerous because you can't catch them once they get into the open field. He made some big runs for us to keep us in the game. We knew we were going to have to run the football and control the game. Couldn't get much going in the passing game, mainly because of the field position, just being backed up and not want to take the risk. But he was a guy that stepped up and really kept us in the ball game, and needs some more of that this week.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
Next question goes to Tamona Stapleton.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Going well. How's it going?
It's good, thank you. Coach Robinson, your defense showed tremendous resilience against Jackson State. You guys collected 6 sacks. And as you stated earlier, you eliminated Irv Mulligan and Travis Terrell. Can you share the specific defensive schemes or adjustments that you made to disrupt an offense that usually puts up 30+ points? And then how do you plan on building on this momentum for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, when I was on the call last week, I talked about, I mean, they have a lot of scary players, and those guys that they touch the ball and everybody holds their breath because they can go the distance. And a lot of respect for Mulligan. I mean, the guy's been playing super hard, and just love watching him run. I mean, he's an exciting player, speed, power, and can score at any time he touches the ball. So for us, it was just putting the emphasis on stopping the run, and that starts during the week as the mindset. You know, you got to have a mentality that we're going to be physical at the point of attack. So the guys did a good job of executing the game plan, just coming downhill and making sure all of the gaps were filled, and realizing that they're going to make some plays is just part of it. And I think the game really came down to they were able to execute 2 big pass plays for touchdowns, and we had our chance to complete pass plays, and we didn't. And so, but it was a good physical football game, and those guys are going to do well. And Terrell, just an exciting player. Same thing with him. When he touched the ball on the punt returns, I'm like, my goodness, like, can we not kick it to him again? And so we'll clear that up. You know, punter will be better at making those directional kicks, but they're an explosive team, and that's why they won the East. They're a good team.
And can I ask a follow-up question? Do we have time?
Yes.
Okay. Coach Robinson, so you have the #1 defense in HBCU, and then it's #3 in all of FCS. I know you have a couple of more games left, but how do you plan to use this momentum with your defense to build a more balanced offense that complements your strong defensive unit coming into this off season?
Yeah, I mean, that's been the goal. And so just get all my quarterbacks healthy. That's the biggest thing. And so Kareem has been playing, man, at the very best of his ability, super confident kid, love him to death, just comes here every day and works and works and works. So, and we got to be a little bit more balanced, of course. And but defensively, we just have to play at that level and play the cards that we have. I mean, that's great special teams, great defense, and offense has to put up enough points for us to get a win. And so that's our focus right now, is just to win this one game. We're not focused on the stats or the end of the season. It's just, hey, let's get ready to win one game versus Prairie View at home, and that's how you have to look at it.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Any final questions for Coach? Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Thank you. Best of luck to everyone this weekend.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. We now go over to Alcorn State and Coach Cedric Thomas. Once again, if you do have questions, please feel free to utilize the raise your hand feature there to get your question in the queue. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Thomas with Alcorn State. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, as always, we appreciate you take some time out of your schedule to join us. Coach, if you could please start us out with an opening statement, recapping your team's most recent outing versus Prairie View A&M.
Yes, sir. Got on the road again, face a dangerous Prairie View team who did a really good job against FAMU the week before. And so guys came prepared and got off to a quick start. Offensively had explosive early. Defense got stopped, after stop, had a really, really solid game overall, and kind of sputtered there going into the half. And then, second half, defense continued to play lights out. And we knew Prairie View wasn't going to go down without a fight. They made some plays to kind of get that thing close. And, defense, they held, pretty much the whole entire game, and got explosive in the run game later on to kind of seal it with a special team miscue. And so just overall, really good win to get on the road, beat a good football team. But just to see the guys have some resilience, even though when Prairie View made they run, just says, a lot about the character of these young men, and we're going in the right direction.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes with Charles Bishop.
Morning, Coach. How you doing?
Oh, I'm blessed. How about yourself?
Doing well. I wanted to ask about Malachi Bailey, another stalwart performance, 2.5 sacks this past weekend, but just what he's meant to the Alcorn defense this past season.
Just the defense part, that's a small, minute sector of what he do for this campus. He Mr. Alcorn for us. Anything that needs to be done, from a campus standpoint, from a leadership standpoint, from a voice standpoint, that's who he is. And so his story, man, is just awesome. And just the football part is, they're just, icing on the cake. And so, playing at a really high level, took his bumps and bruises early, just from a leadership standpoint of just trying to do too much. And now you just see him, back in his element, having fun. And so just excited about getting a chance to rock and roll with him one more time.
Quick follow-up, rivalry game coming in this weekend, Jackson State coming in. What will it mean for the Alcorn program to finish out on a high note?
Always good, to be able to do that, regardless of who we playing. And so, we got some goals, and one of them is to finish this thing strong. And so we got a really good football team that's coming in, and we got to be sound and do some things that for us to be successful. And so, we got to finish it up, and we're excited about this test that we got to, finish this thing off on a winning season.
Sure thing. Appreciate that, Coach.
Yes, sir.
This question goes to Stephen.
Good morning, Coach.
What's up with it, Stephen?
All right. Just wanted to know, how far back does the Alcorn State, Jackson State rivalry go with you in terms of maybe growing up in Cleveland, where you were aware of how big the rivalry was, but just backtrack when you learned about this rivalry and how big it is?
Yeah, about 1994, Charles Brady, my head football coach, he played at Jackson. So that was the first trip that we made, besides going to Mississippi Valley, was 1993, 1994, when Charles Brady took a bunch of us up to Jackson. And so just seeing all of us inside that stadium, at 14, 15 years old, man, it was captivating. And I said I wanted to be a part of it. And lo and behold, man, God is good, with some great mentors and great coaches. And now I got opportunity to stand in some of the footsteps of some of the greats before me. And so, it goes back to the end, just being a part of it as a high school student. And so, it's dear to me, and got a lot of riding on it, but just excited about getting the opportunity to lead this football team on Saturday.
All right. Thank you, Coach, and wish you well.
Appreciate it.
Next question goes to Doc Holliday.
How you doing, Coach?
Oh, I'm blessed. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Offensive wise, in the game against Prairie View, as far as passing the ball, wasn't too fond of passing the ball. What are the things you want to try to do to kind of implement somewhat of a passing game against Jackson State and this defense?
Well, if the backup quarterback continue to throw interceptions, we won't throw it at all. We got to give ourselves a chance to win, and throwing it to the other team won't do that. And so the ultimate goal is to win. And so, we'll, draw some things up for him to see can he complete those and be efficient in the pass game. But, we got to run it every snap. We'll run it every snap if that's going to give us a chance to be successful. But we definitely can't, throw it to the other team. And I know Trey, will be excited about the opportunity to go out and drew it. And the same thing with Vaughn. But we definitely can't put the ball in the air versus this great defense. And those guys take it away.
And my second question is, what do you tell your players about this rivalry? The ones that have not played in this game yet, what do you tell them about this rivalry between both schools?
Nothing. It's just a game. It's different when you got guys who've been in it, freshman, sophomore year, but now with the transfer portal and guys all across America coming to these institutions, a lot of them don't understand it. And so I ain't gonna put emphasis on it. For me, it's dear to some who've been in it. But you just don't have a lot of true SWAC guys that have been on rosters for 3 and 4 years that understand the magnitude of it. And I think that's what's kind of happening, to a lot of these games, after the fact. And so it was an issue, last year with some guys and some scuffles, and we're trying to stay away from that. And so for us, it's just another game that we want to go out and try to win. And then once it's over, we got to be on our best behavior from a sportsmanship standpoint. But as the leader, I'm not going in and do any kind of rah-rah speech, from a rivalry standpoint. It's some get it and some don't. And for the ones that don't, it is what it is.
All right, appreciate you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Next question goes to Tamona Stapleton.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Oh, I'm blessed. How about yourself?
I'm good, thank you. Coach Thomas, heading into the weekend's matchup against Jackson State, you'll be facing a couple of familiar folks. The defensive coordinator, Terenzo Quinn, of course, you guys worked together in the past. How does your knowledge of, well, he hasn't been a defensive coordinator, but do you feel like his coaching style will influence your game plan? And what adjustments are you focusing on to counter his defensive strategy?
No, we just got to look at what's on tape, regardless of who the person is. You got to look at the film, and the film will kind of, from an analytics standpoint, will kind of tell you what you need to do and what you don't need to do. Some really good players there, really good coaches, really good administration. And so we just got to make sure that, from a defensive standpoint, we protect the football and not give up explosives. And from an offensive standpoint, we got to take care of the football versus a really good stingy defense. But, we can't come in, looking at the individuals and trying to outcoach ourselves. And so we know those guys going to be prepared. They won the conference for a reason. And, some really good coaches and really good players there. And so we just got to make sure it's a litmus for us to see where we stand, going forward. And so we got to make sure we bring our A game to have a chance to be successful on Saturday.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
Absolutely.
Okay. And then also you have Rob McDaniel returning. He played at Alcorn, I want to say for 2 seasons. And he was a big time player for your team. How interested are you for that matchup between the offense and, of course, that player that used to be on your team?
Oh, I'm not. We don't look at, individuals. For us, it's, he's a part of a team that we're trying to beat. And so when he was here, for us, the nurturing standpoint was we treated him just like all other guys that's inside the building. For us, when you leave the building, it's the exact same thing. You're still a representative of young black guys that's in this conference that's trying to be productive citizens when it's all over. And we know, we got to know where Rob is as a football player. And we know when football is over, Rob going to be a really good person in society, because that's who he was when he was with us. And so, we're not going into the game saying, hey, check out Rob McDaniel and what he can and cannot do. We know everybody on the defense, can do some really good things. And so we just got to make sure we're on our P's and Q's with one of the best defenses in FCS football.
All right. Good luck, Coach, this weekend.
Thank you, ma'am.
Last question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Hey, I've heard you're blessed, and I'm super fantastic, so we've got through that. Let's talk about Stamarian Edwards, Coach. He had 11 tackles and 1 for a sack. Talk about his play Saturday.
Grown man, just so proud of him. I coached him in junior college. Didn't have a chance, didn't have an earthly idea of what was going on, but just was dear and near to learning. Stayed in the film room. And the good thing about junior college, there was no 20-hour rule, so you could live in the film room. And that's what he did. He changed his body. But just to see him come out of Hollandale, Mississippi, and have a chance when a lot of people told him he wouldn't, and to come here and play at a high level, football junkie, loves it. It was awesome. He got a chance to get the invite, so he'll play some more football in the Legacy Bowl. But he leads us. Malachi get a lot of praise up front, but he's the brains behind the operation. And so we're just excited about his growth and development. And once it's all over, we know he'll be a really good person out in the real world, got some tools to be successful, and he'll definitely lead. And so I'm just excited that he get a chance to rock with us one more time and, put us on his back and face these really good running backs and this tremendous offense that we got to go against.
Good luck to you this week, Coach. Thank you.
Appreciate it, sir.
Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. We now go over to Bethune-Cookman and head coach Raymond Woody. Once again, if you do have questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Woody with Bethune-Cookman. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, as always, we appreciate you take some time out of your schedule to join us. If you could, please start us out with an opening statement recapping your team's most recent outing at Texas Southern.
I know Coach had those guys ready. I mean, we came in obviously ready to compete in a really good environment. We jumped up 7-0. Next drive, our defense forced a turnover and offense scores on the first play that gets called back, and it's converted on fourth down and also gets called back, and that's how the game go. 2-minute drive sets up a 25-yard field goal, and we missed it, which could have put us up 3 more and set up scores on 3 consecutive drives. Then second half, we got down 17-7 offense. They scored early in the fourth to make it 17-14, and our defense gets a big time stop, and offense, goes down on a 2-minute drive again, and we had some issues with the clock, and then obviously we had to reset it 53 seconds. And then we set ourselves up, for, the last field goal, to tie it up, 53-yarder, and then we missed it. So, that's kind of how, the game ended. Proud of our guys for fighting. Obviously they've been fighting, but we didn't finish that one. It's just unfortunate that we didn't finish that game, and obviously could have been in a situation where we could have tied it up or won it, depending on, the situation that could have happened.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Melvin Bill.
Hey, good morning, Coach. How are you doing?
Great. And yourself?
I'm well. Listen, it's the Florida Classic. Can you share with me why this game is so big? It is one of the premier events in the country. Talk a little bit about why this particular classic is so big.
Well, it's been a rivalry. I mean, forever. I mean, obviously, bragging rights in the state of Florida, recruiting. I mean, it's just going to be a really good, atmosphere. A lot of guys played on the same high school. A lot of guys played against each other, as far as their respective schedules, in high school. So, I mean, you got a lot of alumni, that's right down the street from the school, both schools, whether it's Tallahassee, you got FAM, you got Bethune, whether it's Daytona, you got FAM, you got Bethune alumni, obviously covered all around the state of Florida.
Talk to me a little bit about your assessment of this Florida A&M football team. They've lost a couple of games back to back, but what do you see from this team offensively, defensively, and on special teams?
Well, they got talent. I mean, obviously a really good team. I mean, they got, in my opinion, one of the talented team that, we're going to face. I mean, they have them on all aspects of the game, in those 3, offense, defense, and special team.
Okay. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Mr. Daniels.
How are you today?
Good. And yourself?
I'm well, sir. Coach, can you just evaluate, give us a synopsis of your season? You've lost a couple of games by field goals that were really close. Just talk about the whole season.
I tell you, just been, ups and downs, but I'm proud of these guys, especially we got playing a lot of young guys. They're fighting, and we're doing things the right way, and that's what I'm so proud of. These guys are coming to work, and going to work, and at the end of the day, I'm excited just to see the progression. You play the game. I mean, you can't blame no one, make no excuses. It's going to be injuries. It's going to be things that happen throughout the game. So you have to just keep plugging and stay encouraged. And like I said, these guys, they've been battling all season.
And Coach, you traveled last week to Baton Rouge, and then this past Saturday you had to travel to Houston for Texas Southern. What type of effect did that have on your team?
Well, we come to work. I mean, blame no one, make no excuses. I tell the guys you have to do something, and we don't look at that. I mean, the schedule is what the schedule is. I mean, everyone has a schedule, and you sign up for it, and you got to produce.
Absolutely. Good luck to you this week, Coach.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Charles Bishop.
Coach Woody, how you doing?
How you doing, Mr. Bishop?
We talked a little bit about you still in year two, sort of building that foundation of what you want going into this last game against Florida A&M. Kind of talk about a little bit about some of your needs going into the upcoming season.
Well, obviously we have to, we got young guys, we got guys returning up front, which is a good thing. But we got to get bigger, we got to get stronger, and faster in all positions, in my opinion. But you want to build it inside to outside, and we have to make sure we get the right fit, the right players, because a lot of times, when you just go out and recruit and don't do your research, it could hurt you, So we're all about getting the right guys in the classroom, obviously being able to play the game on the field, and then the character portion.
Sure thing. Appreciate that, Coach.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Timona Stapleton.
Good morning, Coach Woody. How are you doing?
How you doing, Ms. Stapleton?
I'm good. So Coach, can you talk a little bit about the historical aspect of the upcoming Florida Classic between you and FAMU, and what that means to you to now be at the helm of Bethune-Cookman as the head coach?
Yes, and it's all about the players. I mean, obviously, it's a great classic. Like I said earlier, a lot of these guys know each other. A lot of these guys went to high school, even middle school together, have been played on same high school teams, played on opposing high school teams that played each other. I mean, parents know other parents. I mean, it's almost like a family affair, and records goes out the window when you play this game. And like I said, it's going to be a great atmosphere in Orlando.
Okay, and just as a follow-up question, with FAMU taking that huge loss at home to Mississippi Valley and ending that streak, what motivations do you have for your team in terms of going into this game and pulling out a victory?
Well, obviously, Coach Cozy, great friend. He's going to have those guys ready, and we just got to make sure we take care of what we need to take care of, and obviously play the game to win, and we have to execute on all cylinders to beat this team. I mean, they have a really good football team.
All right, thank you, Coach, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Last question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach Woody, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, Doc.
All right. Give us your assessment of Dennis Palmer and how about his play for this season as a freshman.
Well, we recruit freshmen and we recruit freshmen. I want to say that because a lot of times people have gone away from recruiting guys, that's younger. We feel like we get an opportunity to go out and really get, good players that's young, so we can kind of mold them and teach them how we want things done. And he's been a surprise, but we knew recruiting him, he was going to come in and compete, and He's been competing off season. We knew in the fall camp he showed some flashes, and his progression has been, really good and well as expected.
I appreciate you, Coach.
Appreciate you.
Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Thank you.
Sir, thank you. All right, we now go over to Bethune-Cookman. Once again, if you do have any questions for our coaches, please utilize your raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. Please wait to be acknowledged prior to asking your question. All right, once again, happy to be joined by Coach Colsey with Florida A&M. Good morning, Coach.
Hey, good morning.
Coach, as always, appreciate you taking some time out of your schedule to join us. Coach, if you could please start us out with an opening statement, recapping your team's most recent outing versus Mississippi Valley State.
Hats off to Coach and his staff for playing well-coached ball game, well-played ball game. I know they played an extremely inspired, obviously for what had happened over the last week over there. I think we won as inspired as we needed to be. But obviously getting ready for the Florida Classic, obviously a game that's extremely important to our university, to our football schedule. So excited to get ourselves back. We had a very, very good practice on Sunday, and then it's our day off, but then getting ourselves ready for an important football game upcoming Saturday.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Doc Holliday.
Good morning, Coach Colsey. How you doing today?
Doc, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. What was the temperature of the team like after the game, and what did you tell your team about trying to be resilient after a loss like this?
They're tough. It's people love the coach when you go into a happy locker room. But you have to understand at times you got to go into a locker room and it's tough. Disappointed bunch. That was one of the main things I said to them at halftime. There wasn't, for me, it wasn't a lot of rah-rah or hey guys, this either we're gonna pull it together or we're not. We're gonna play together or we're not. We thought we did some good things in the second half, but not good enough to to get the win. But it was kind of similar things that have happened throughout the year. Stupid penalties, not valuing the football, and not finishing in the fourth quarter. So those are things you have to continue to harp on. But what we have done is allow teams to stay in and allow teams to build confidence. So I thought Sunday with our leadership guys and some of the stuff that we're going to now do differently internally inspired the guys. But ultimately, we got to prepare this week. But we all know we're judged on what we do on Saturday. So hopefully we can put it together and put some things together and try to beat a very, very good, confident football team in Bethune-Cookman.
Okay. Hey, Andrew, I'm going to come back around if we have enough time.
Absolutely. Appreciate it. Next question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned after the game on Saturday that you would, and you mentioned it just now, that you would do some internal evaluation of the program. What does that look like, and who and what will be examined during that process?
Well, you said examine? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I examine every week, right? And we got some stuff in the house that we're gonna have to do and we are doing. But just sometimes you feel you gotta light a fire in people. And I think what we're doing and what we discussed on Sunday will be great for us. But again, our preparation to me has been top notch, offensively, defensively, and special teams. We just got to work on the execution phase, the detail phase. You outscore opponents. You outgain opponents. You're defensively. You're keeping teams under certain yardages and things of that nature. But we're not seeing the results with that. So again, every week you got to take a look at your personnel. You got to take a look at your staff, and that's something that I do every week. But as I mentioned, internally we need to do some things differently, and hopefully we get a chance to show show a difference this upcoming weekend.
Next question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Hey, boss, how are you?
I'm well, Coach. And that's my question for you. You inherit a national championship football team. The home winning streak at Bragg Memorial has now ended, and it ends to a previously winless team. How are you as a first year head coach after such a scenario?
Well, I mean, I'll say this, as I mentioned Saturday, I felt, at times, you have to do a press conference right after a football game, and again, it's easy to come up when you win. At times, the losses, that's when you show your true character. And when I spoke to the football team, we did what we normally do: win, lose, or draw. We prayed at the end of the game, went to the locker room and talk about things that we may need to do better. Then I let them go be with their families. For me, I think that I did share with them. I said I felt we lost more than just the game on Saturday because a lot of the things that you had mentioned and what had been included. Obviously, you got to go hit the media about whatever things that they made it feel that they want to discuss and talk about what you may have done differently. But we were a different football team than the national championship team. That shows. But I'm also a person that was blessed with the opportunity to be the head football coach, and there was a standard that I attained. Right, there was a standard that I inherited, and we've fallen short of that. So as the head football coach of this football team, you gotta bear the blame. Gotta do what's necessary to get this thing back to where it needs to be, get this thing back to where it's expected to be. And as I mentioned, as we continue to get to the end of the season, right, we're not gonna make the playoffs. We're not going to win a SWAC championship. Got to make sure that we finish these 2 weeks strong as we get ourselves into recruiting. So those are the things that I'm focusing on. But while also focusing on that, making sure we're putting our best step forward as we get ready for the 2025 season.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you, Perry. I appreciate it.
Next question goes to Keisha Kelly.
Hey, good morning, Coach. How are you?
I'm doing well, Ms. Keisha. How are you doing?
Good. And not to harp on the losses. We didn't talk about that. Let's talk about this upcoming weekend. Is there anything that you're particularly focused on with this Bethune-Cookman team that you'll be facing?
Take care of the football, man. I mean, there's a lot of glaring things when you look at our football team right now, but we're minus 13 in turnover margin right now. Like that's not going to win you any games, right? We haven't done a very good job at times, inside the what I call the compete high-low red zone, whether it's offensively or defensively. There's some glaring things when you kind of take a look at our football team, and it tells you why we may be 5-5 right now, right? But just trying to win the turnover margin, right? We haven't won the turnover margin in any football game that we played. We did against Jackson State, but we had two key turnovers late that cost us the football game. But overall, right, if we can win the turnover margin and have the ability to run the football that we have done over the last couple of weeks, I think we've got ourselves a pretty good opportunity to put ourselves in a good spot. But those are two things that are in my mind as far as we get ready for this week, taking care of the football and trying to find ways not to beat ourselves.
All right, good luck, Coach.
I appreciate you.
Next question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach Coley.
What's up, Doc? What's going on?
Oh, so you went away from the run in the second half a little bit, and even though that gave you a lot of success, you had over 172 yards. What are the things you want to try to do different against Bethune-Cookman when it comes to the rushing attack?
Great question, Doc. I mean, I think you know the answer. We had 170 yards rushing the football. Keep running, keep rushing the football, right? We had a couple times. We were deep in their territory, and coughed the ball up. I thought we could have maybe been a little bit more just simple in our approach. In doing so, we did not. And again we lost the fumble trying to run the option, and then we had a snap over our head where our center's a fifth-year senior, and then our quarterback has played in over 45 Division I football games, right? So sometimes keeping it simple is the best thing to do.
Appreciate you, Coach.
No problem.
Any final questions for Coach? Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Appreciate it. And I just want to say to the head football coach at Southern, the head football coach at Jackson State, congratulations, for them obtaining both division titles. And trust me, long season, and both those guys definitely persevered and put themselves in the best possible situation to represent the SWAC in the SWAC championship game. So I want to just make sure I give shout outs to both of those guys. Both those guys did amazing jobs this year.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
We now go over to Grambling State and Coach Mickey Joseph. Once again, if you do have questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. So happy to be joined by Coach Joseph with Grambling State. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Doing great, Coach, and thank you so much for taking your time out of your schedule to join us. Coach, if you could start us out with an opening statement, recapping your team's most recent outing at Alabama A&M.
Well, is another the same book. We talked about it this morning, staff meeting, the same book. Not being able to, to hold on to the league. We got to go back and make sure that we're making proper decisions, when it comes to halftime personnel wise and schematic wise, what are we doing wrong, and how we can get them to cut down on some of these penalties, because, we sometimes they don't understand, but we got to get them to understand. But that's on me. I gotta coach them better. I gotta coach my assistant coaches better and get this program back going. But we I think we closer than we think. While you being a competitor, you want it to happen right now. And we're in a bad place right now. We're not in a good place, but at the end of the day, God woke us up this morning to fight another battle. So that's what we're going to do.
First question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Perry. How you doing?
I'm well, Coach. How are you?
Could be better, but I'm okay.
Coach, you've been around football a very long time and around the SWAC a very long time. How does where this program is today compare to some of the other programs that you have been involved with?
Well, I've been Power Five the last since 2016, I think 17, and before that I was at Tech. But the last time I was here, I think it was 14. I was at Alcorn, and 14, 15, Alcorn 13. But the last couple of it's just been bigger programs, and you have more resources when you have these bigger programs. But it's no excuse, what's going on here with these close games. We gotta fix it. It's not a lot of stuff happening off the field that we need to fix. Everything we need to fix happens on the field. So we got that opportunity. We get the opportunity to fix things every day we have our kids. So I got to make sure that we're doing a better job of getting our kids in the right situation. And because at the end of the day, Jamar Chase is not going to walk through the door. Justin Jefferson is not going to walk through the door. So it's more trying to develop the ones, even the ones you get out of portal, you got to continue to develop them. Because like I said before, when they drop down from group of 5 to us, that means they hadn't played. So we got to do a really good job of developing and continue to develop them and understand what type of kid that we getting out the portal and get that kid to play at the potential that he once had. So we got to do a better job of that, and it starts with me.
And will your off-season recruiting focus be more in the portal or at the high school level?
Well, right now we redshirted probably 85% of our high school kids. So I think that right now we will focus on the portal because our high school kids are, they developed to what we thought they was going to develop in. They started out slow, but right now they some of the best players on the team right now. Once you look at them now, once we get them from behind those cards, and what I mean behind scout team cards, and see, hey, how much can they retain? We'll know more. But right now, I think our high school kids are here right now, and we're going to focus on some high school kids. But most of these are going to be, JUCO and transfer portal kids.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Yeah, Coach, how would you assess the play of Miles Crowley on Thursday night? He got a touchdown and 2 interceptions, one at the end that kind of really hurt you guys there. His movement seemed to be a little bit limited as well in the pocket and kind of scramble around a little bit. Do you think you might have brought him back a little bit too soon?
Well, we thought he was able to play to protect himself, and he moved around, good enough for me in pregame and the days before that. So we thought he was okay, but he right, he was a little limpy, and so we're really gonna take a look at him, and because you want to give Miles every play, because he's a kid, that he's our starting quarterback. So we wanted to give him every opportunity to play. He was a little gimpy, so we're gonna go back and we'll watch him this week and see exactly what's going on, and then we'll hit him. We'll go from there with it.
Just a quick follow-up, Coach. You mentioned all the things you're going to do in the offseason to improve the team roster-wise. What about from the coaching standpoint? Is there going to be some changes there too?
Well, it's always going to be changes on staffs. Guys going to go, then, some guys you're going to ask to leave. So it's going to be some changes regardless, if I ask them to go or if they leave on their own. But we'll go back at the end. I'll sit down with our athletic director and sit down with Joe, our general manager, and we'll discuss the staff and see, make sure that they're the right fit, with the type of kids we bringing in, and that they're the right fit for Grambling. So we'll go back and look at that. Like you say, you evaluate your program every day, but it'll be an overall evaluation the day after the Bayou Classic.
I appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach Joseph, how you doing today?
Doc, how you doing? I'm doing okay.
I'm doing good. Can you give an assessment about your offensive play calling with Coach Dooley, and what are the things you want to try to implement for the Bayou Classic and from here on out?
Well, we want to make sure that that we can run the ball. I think that's our strength right now with our offensive line. Having some kids that's beat up. We have some young kids up there, so I think we can try to work on putting together a really good run game and trying to get a hat on a hat. I thought when we had Miles, I thought it was more trying to dropping back and get the ball out his hand with the quick game. But I think going into it now, you want to try to settle down and see if we can hand this thing off and cut the game in half and see if we can run the football. So it's we'll sit back and we'll do it as a staff to figure out what's the best runs that we can have and then go from there with it. But we in the beginning you try to do what's best with the personnel that you have. With the personnel changing up now, you have to change up your game plan and probably sit back and say, okay, let's see if we can run the ball, and I think we can. We just got to commit to it.
All right, appreciate you, Coach.
Appreciate you.
Currently taking questions for Coach Joseph with Grambling State. Any final questions for Coach? Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Okay, appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we now go over to Arkansas Pine Bluff. We are a few minutes ahead of schedule. We'll pause momentarily, and when we come back, we'll be joined by Coach Hampton with UAPB. Thank you for your patience. Once again, for our media participants joining us on the call, if you do have questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue for our coaches. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Hampton with Arkansas Pine Bluff. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, as always, we appreciate you taking some time out of your schedule to join us. Coach, if you could start us out with an opening statement recapping your team's most recent outing at Southern.
Obviously, we went down to Southern, senior day for them. We knew what they had on the line, the opportunity that was in front of us, and we didn't take advantage of it. We got off to a good start. First drive, the ball down the field, get in the red zone, and they hold us to a field goal. Next possession on offense, we get an interception. We drive the ball back down there, can't punch it in, kick another field goal. Really should have been up 14-0, now 6-0. And then they do a good job. They drive the ball downfield. They get it to 3rd and 5. I mean, the same play we worked on. We knew what was coming. We got a guy in position. He don't make the play. They get the first down. Then they get a field goal. They get a touchdown, make it 7-6. We drive the ball again, get a couple first downs, just keep shooting ourselves in the foot. And then right before half, they end up getting another touchdown, make it 14-6. Them going into halftime, we knew we was getting the ball coming out. We felt good about it because we've been able to move the ball on everybody for the most part. We take the drive and drive down, get 2 first downs, and then they get a stop. We punt the ball to them, and then we just blow a coverage. That's kind of been the theme for us. We mentally break at some point during the game, and they hit us with like a 71-yard. I don't think that young man caught a pass all season. And it was an easy route, just a switch route. And they go up 21-6. And then the very next play on offense, we fumble the ball, 93. He needs to be Defensive Player of the Week. Whoever he is, he's a really good player. I think he ended up getting a scoop and score at the end of the game. My son just sent it to me. He's all on Sports Center. He deserved it. He played his tail off. 93 did. And so, obviously, the score is 24-6. We get another big play. A big time scramble by Mackay. He dumps the ball off to the tailback. The guy runs 85 yards, and credit to Coach Graves and Coach Miller. That young man ran him down. They stop us. I think we got 1st and goal on the 7. We got a pop pass, tight end wide open. Quarterback, he just misses and for a touchdown, and they hold us to a field goal. Now the score is 24-9. And then they get the scoop and score at the end of the game. But we had our opportunity. But Coach Graves is an outstanding person, man. I'm happy for him. And I told him before the game, after the game, good luck to him. Obviously, Coach TC on the other side, congrats. My hat's off to him as well. It'll be a great game. SWAC championship.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Tanner Spearman.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Looking at this season, I mean, first 4 conference games for you guys were all competitive games. You won a couple, had a couple close losses. The last 3 have kind of gotten away from you a little bit. What do you attribute that to, and what do you guys got to get back to doing that you were doing earlier to have a chance this week?
Score touchdowns. We moved the ball on everybody. Let's be honest. The only outlier in all of these games is the Jackson State game. Like, we literally, man, it's like they knew everything we were doing. But they're a good football team. But every team after that, even Alabama A&M, I mean, we're up. We have a chance to go up 14-0, 17-0. And then we just shoot ourselves in the foot. We get in the red zone. We're kicking field goals instead of scoring touchdowns. And then for whatever reason, our kids, we haven't been able to coach them into believing that we're going to score touchdowns instead of field goals. And then, obviously the game got away from us in the 3rd quarter. Against Alabama A&M because we just made too many mistakes offensively. And then on defense, man, they just wore us down. They kept getting into 14 personnel. And then last week, we played Southern. I mean, we had a chance to go up 14-0. I mean, we're 2 evenly matched teams. And, yeah, you can say the score is what it is, but I know that this football team is a lot closer than those scores. Of the last 3 games. And so that's the frustrating part. But, we got to finish strong. Finish strong for these seniors that we have. We don't got a lot of seniors. We got a lot of young guys playing. And this football team is going to be everything that we want it to be. We got to recruit. And but let's give those guys credit that beat us the last 3 games too. They bend, but they didn't break, and we're breaking instead of bending.
And Coach, you mentioned finishing strong. Got a chance, like you said, to play for the seniors. You got, can still figure out some things as far as the division standings, maybe finish better than last year. What is the main thing you want these guys to play for this week?
Play for your teammates. Play for the guys that have been in the program for 2 to 4 years. Play for your parents. Play for dear mother. Play for UAPB, the people that have sacrificed for you to be here. Play for the people that have pushed you to get here. I'm talking about your mom, your dad, your teachers, all the people in the neighborhood that have been telling you that you can do this. It's time for us to grow up. And that's what I want to understand. Like this is about those guys in that locker room giving a very best effort for the seniors that are probably never put on a jersey again. This is it for them. And so we're going to enjoy every moment of it. And that's what I told the coaches last night in our staff meeting. You got one job. Your job is to go out there and put together the best game plan to give these young men the opportunity to go out a winner. So that's our only focus right now. And if we do that, we're going to have a chance to win like we've had a chance to win every game. The last 3 weeks is not scoreboard-wise, hasn't been what we wanted it to be, but we've had a chance to win every game with the exception of Jackson State.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Next question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Morning.
Coach, talk about Jaden Kelly, 13 solo tackles, 2 assists. Talk about his play Saturday.
Obviously we got 3 linebackers. We got some guys playing linebacker. Jonas Davis was actually our player of the game. He was a starting tailback last year, played tailback. He had 9 tackles, but Jaden Kelly did a good job. He's making some plays, but he left a lot of plays out there. As a Mike linebacker, you should lead the team in tackle. But I'm happy for Jaden. He got a big-time fumble recovery, but a couple plays, he probably should have had about 20 tackles. And those are the things that we got to continue to do. The standard is to be great. The standard is not to go out there and just do enough to make the tackle 6 yards down the field when you should have made the tackle 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So we're just trying to set the standard. And this is a better football team than it was last year. Tanner said, we want to obviously do better. We did last year. Everybody in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, everybody in the SWAC noticed this football team is better than it was last year. And we want to win the next game because this is the next game on the schedule. I'm really not worried about. It's only going to be one winner. All right, you got one team that's going to win the West, and that is Southern. You got one team that's going to win the East. That's Jackson State. And one team's going to win the SWAC. So everybody else is losing, right? So what we got to do is we get an opportunity to get a head start on all those guys, get out and find us some players so we can get where we need to get to.
And Coach, you've been on other staffs. This is the 2nd year of your program at Arkansas Pine Bluff. How would you compare where this program is today to the 2nd year of other staffs that you've been a part of?
Number one, you got to get highly competitive guys, all right? And that goes from the coaching staff to the players that you bring in the program. And I heard some guys talking about, getting guys from a D1 program. I'm going to tell you right now, you can get them from wherever you want to get them from. If they're not highly competitive, leave them where they're at. And so that's what we got to continue to do. We got to get highly competitive guys. When you say highly competitive guys that refuse to lose, guys that's going to make sure that they go to class and sit in the front row. When they are a C student, they're going to strive to become a B student. Okay, when they're a B student, they're going to strive to become an A student because it's something inside of you knowing that I can do better. And that's what we're trying to do. Everybody in this program, and obviously for us, I evaluate. I'm just like Coach Cozy. I evaluate every single day. I know what we need, and we got to do a better job of coaching. We got to do a better job of putting our players in some position to make plays. But the players also have to make the plays when they get the opportunity because we had 3 or 4 chances to get off the field early and to really kind of put a little stress on Southern, and maybe they'd have to work a little hard in the Bayou Classic to win the Western Division.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck to you.
Appreciate it.
Any final questions for Coach Hampton with Arkansas Pine Bluff? All right, we'll take one last question from Tanner Spearman.
Hey, Coach, you hadn't talked about Texas Southern, who you're playing this week, so let's talk about them. I mean, first year under Coach Dishman, I think they've certainly outperformed a lot of people's expectations for him this year. What have you seen out of this team in his first year?
Hard-nosed football team. They got two good running backs. Quarterback is really move well in the pocket. They're feisty. Not feisty with the hands. We don't want any of that stuff. But they do a really good job. Obviously, I thought Bethune. I watched that game. Bethune had them, but those kids stayed in the fight, and then they were able to make some plays and get the win in the end. So it's going to be a tough matchup for us. I'm glad they got the 8-hour bus ride. Like we had it twice last year. And so we need to be able to send our seniors out the right way. And so we know they're going to probably come in here and do what they've been doing. They run the ball control. Last week we lost a time of possession, 37 minutes to 22 minutes. And so we got to be able to, keep our defense off the field a little bit. And, when we do get those stops, we need to be able to capitalize on them.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Hey, Mr. Mona had a question.
Okay, we can get it in. Go ahead, Ms. Stapleton.
Doing?
How you doing?
I'm good. Let me just go ahead and ask you quickly. How do you attribute that game atmosphere on the road against Southern? I know you talked about how you wanted to have a hostile environment with the fans being included. So how important is that for this next game versus Texas Southern to help you secure the win?
Yeah, our fans have been great all year at home. And so I expect nothing different, man. We got the M4, it's the greatest band in the land. They'll have, I don't know how many seniors they got. So they always show up and show out. And then, obviously we got about 12, 13 seniors, their parents be in town. So it's a great way to end the season for these young men. And we got to do everything in our power to get the W for them. So, Simmons Bank Field has been good for us, and our kids, for whatever reason, they play a little harder at home. And so we got to be able to bottle that energy up and let them take it out one last time. Probably put the gold jerseys on them for the last time. And we're talking about setting the standard for obviously going into spring ball and all that, spring workouts for the guys. Winter workouts.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this weekend.
I appreciate it. Y'all be blessed.
Appreciate it, Coach. We will now move over to Mississippi Valley State and Coach Wade. Once again, if you do have questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Wade with Mississippi Valley State. Good morning, Coach.
Hey, good morning.
Coach, as always, we appreciate you taking some time to join us. If you could start us out with an opening statement, recapping your team's most recent outing at Florida A&M.
Yeah, man. First of all, I want to just send huge congratulations to TC, Coach Graves, for winning their side of the SWAC. Two really good programs. I'll definitely be tuned in watching that game. We're coming off our first victory against FAM. Went down to Florida A&M and played a really good FAM team. I think this game can be summed up with two stats. We won the turnover battle 3-0. And we didn't allow sacks. So we put ourselves in a position to go out there and be successful. Our kids played extremely hard. And like I said, it's a team that we had never beat. We was 0-6 in our lifetime versus FAM. So again, this was history being made by being the first Valley team to go in there and win that game. So again, we're feeling really good about it. I'm just so happy for these kids. They've endured so much. They worked so hard, and just happy that they were able to go out there and get a dub.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach Wade, how you doing today?
Doc, what's going on, my man?
I'm doing good. You started the game out on the road, punched them in the mouth early in the first half. Second half, it kind of wavered down. What was the thing that you told the kids at halftime about trying to keep that momentum going from the first half to the second half?
Yeah, we scored 24 in the first half, didn't score in the second half. The halftime speech was we just talked about a boxing analogy, just kind of talking about, how you defeat a champion. It wasn't going to be a one-shot deal where we go get a headshot. We knew that it was going to be just repeatedly blows to the body. So we knew we wanted to control the ball. So we wasn't as aggressive as we wanted to be or as we were in the first half. So again, we just want to continue to hit the body. We felt like if we can continue to hit the body for 30 minutes, eventually those guys will fall. So that's what our approach was in the second half. We did miss some opportunities to go out there and score some points. But the most revealing thing in the second half to me was when they turned the ball over late, it was about 6 minutes left. We got the ball back and they never got the opportunity to get the ball back. We bleeded the clock out. So that just kind of solidified everything that we want to do in the second half, which is just kind of repeatedly just hit these guys in the body. And like I said, we thought eventually they would fall.
And with Nathan Rember, he played his tail off on Saturday. Tell us about him and his progression over the season.
Yeah, really good ball player. The only somebody that can stop Nate Rember is Nate Rember. He's very competitive, which is something that Coach Hemp just said. We believe in getting competitive guys. He's a kid that we got out the transfer portal from a Division II school. So again, great competitor. He loved to compete, and he went out there and did what he does week in and week out.
I appreciate you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Next question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Hey, good morning.
Coach, I didn't get a chance to offer my condolences on the recent events last week, but I know that they are there. How much did inspiration from that event play into this victory?
Inspiration, motivational deals. That gets you started. You don't win and lose games because you're necessarily inspired. It definitely helped. We understood we was playing for a bigger purpose. But it was just about these habits that we've been trying to create. That's, habits going to sustain you throughout the duration of a game, throughout the duration of a season. I think this game was won on Wednesday, or we put ourselves in position on Wednesday to go out there and be successful. It was pouring down rain in here. We practiced at 5:30 a.m. We practiced in the midst of a storm. In the past, I've seen our kids kind of waver when the elements were not ideal. This past Wednesday, those kids went out there and had their best Wednesday practice. So after the Wednesday practice and staff meeting, I told the coaches, I said, we're putting ourselves in position to go down here and beat these guys. And that's exactly what happened.
Great job, Coach. Excellent job.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Stephen.
Good morning, Coach Wade. And again, congratulations on your win.
Stephen, my man, good morning.
Yes. Just curious, what have the last 2 days been like for you in terms of just the whirlwind of congratulatory, maybe text messages, emails, phone calls that you've been getting and all the pats on the back on campus, but kind of describe just the emotional highs that you've been on over the last 2 days with everybody just being so kind and reaching out to you.
Yeah, it's been overwhelming. Thousands of text message or DMs and everything. It doesn't affect me at all. I don't get too high or too low when it comes to this. So my thing is, we appreciate it, but I don't live for the cheers, so I don't die by the boo. So I don't necessarily live for that. Again, but it is cool to have that. But it's been the same for me. It's been the same for us. We do the same thing each and every day. Sunday was just kind of clean up day for us. So we went in and looked at this film and we got that cleaned up and we started our opponent intro today on Alabama and A&M. So for me, it hadn't been different for me, just kind of received a lot of calls and texts. But like I said, I don't get too much into that. I appreciated all of it, but for me, it's the same.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Wish you well this season finale coming up Saturday.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Next question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Yeah, Coach. Now that your program has experienced taste of winning for the first time in a very long time, how do you, move the program forward here? How do you use that momentum to keep building the way you want to build?
Yeah, man, just staying true to the process. It helps to get this, because if there was guys who was wondering if it works, now they get a chance to see that it does work. But for us, we're just true to the process. We do winning things each and every day. So it hadn't affected anything. We hadn't done anything different. Our approach this week is going to be the same as it's been, every other game. So for us, it's just kind of validates what we do and who we are and how we go about what we're doing. But for us, it's pretty much the same, staying true to the process, doing winning things each and every day.
as a quick follow-up, Coach, I know 1-10 isn't a very good record, but the one win means a lot considering the circumstances. How will you use this end of the season and into off season to try to get better as a program, knowing you have a little bit to build on?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we're just gonna continue to build off of it. It feels good. We can talk winning, but again, kids need to see it. Everybody needs to see it, coaches as well. So, people need to see that your hard work is paying off. So this here just kind of, like I said, it validates, solidifies that who we are and what we do on a daily basis. It's starting to show. We've been close in a lot of games. Before the Jackson State game, we could have easily went into that game on a 3-game winning streak. So, I mean, it helps. Without a doubt, it definitely helps as far as moving forward. But I tell you this, it's over. We've turned our attention to Alabama A&M, to go win that game. If we go out and not successful this game, I mean, it kind of nullifies everything that happened this past game. So, again, we always forward thinkers. So, again, we're looking at Alabama A&M.
I appreciate it, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Try to get 2 more questions in quickly. First one goes to Timona Stapleton.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Hey, good morning.
Congratulations on your win. You've made it clear we're moving on to Alabama A&M. So I'm going to ask you a question. Moving into practice this week, how are you going to proceed with the momentum of that win in terms of your offense and defense and just focusing on those fundamentals for next week's game?
Yeah, you hit it. I mean, you just hit it on the head. We just got to keep doing these little things right. Like I said, we didn't have any turnovers, and we caused 3 turnovers. So again, we protecting the ball and we getting teams to turn the ball over. We didn't have a sack. We didn't allow 1 single sack, and we got 2 sacks against those guys. So just staying true to the just basic fundamental things of just playing football. Can you tackle the ball? Can you protect the ball? That's what we're going to continue to focus on this week. Just keep doing these little things right. Just kind of the big things happen, but it's just a combination of a lot of small things you do each and every day. So we're going to continue to hop on just the basic fundamentals, and we're just going to go from there.
Good luck this weekend, Coach.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Last question goes to Melvin Bill.
Hey, Coach, congratulations on the win here in Tallahassee. Quick question about your shirt, Valley versus everybody. What is that all about?
Yeah, I mean, it means exactly what it says. We realize that, the only somebody we have are these people in the building, and we kind of embody that. We embrace that, and that's the mindset that we have. So anytime we step out there, we realize that there's a lot of things against us, whether it's people, situations, whatever it may be. So it just kind of helps us just lock in and say that we all that we got, but we all that we need. So, I mean, it's pretty simple. All we got is the men in this building right here, and we embrace that, we embody that, and we use that every time we step out to go out and compete against anybody.
Thanks, Coach, and good luck this weekend.
Yes, sir.
Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, we now go over to Prairie View A&M and Coach McDowell. Coach, I know we're a little bit behind schedule, so thank you for your patience and good morning.
Absolutely. Good morning, everybody.
Coach, if you could start us out with an opening statement recapping your team's most recent outing versus Alcorn State.
Sure. First, let me say congratulations to TC and Coach Graves. Again, whoever wins, go get that SWAC for us, baby. Bring it back to the SWAC, in the Celebration Bowl. But yeah, I mean, obviously a great defensive battle. Both teams said, brought these guys in, got them mentally ready to play. Defensively, offensively, special teams. We did the same thing here at PV. Again, like I said, it was definitely a defensive battle, but they won the battle more so than we did to stop our guys from getting in the end zone. Even though we still had our opportunities to score in the end, with 3:36 left in the game, in the fourth quarter, it was 19-13. We still had our opportunity. Defense did a great job, man, of stopping these guys, trying to get the ball back to our guys. And of course, we made one bonehead mistake by one of our players, and it cost us. So, but even saying all that, we as an offense have to be able to sustain more opportunity, grasp more opportunity when we have the opportunity to make plays, and we just didn't do that. We like I said, we had some opportunities out there where we should have. Maybe had we got those opportunities, made those opportunities, it wouldn't have came down to 1913 or at the end of the in that fourth quarter. And again, as coaches, and we talk about it all the time, putting players in position to make plays. And again, they have to know and understand that they have to go out and make these plays. Again, we can't get on the field and do this thing for them. As I tell them all the time, what player is going to show up? We need big time players. In case one of our big time players go down, who's going to be the next guy to step up? And again, we had opportunity to do that several times. Again, just shooting ourselves in the foot. But again, even as offensively, and as I talked about it, extensively, should I say, we got to be able to figure out things, as coaches, how to get better, how to make adjustment. And that's one thing I was a little upset. We didn't make adjustment for Malachi. Again, we knew who he was coming into this game. We knew what kind of defense they had coming into this game. And, that young man put on a show, which we knew he was, again, we knew we weren't going to stop him. But, again, we're trying to slow him down, contain him as much as we can, and again, we just didn't make an adjustment for him. And I think, that caused a lot of ruckus, up front, with our O-line. And, they were stunning, they were blitzing, and we couldn't get control of it, and that's a good testament to them, seeing where our weaknesses were and, and taking advantage of it. And for us not to, figure out what we need to do to stop these guys. Again, that's on us, that's on coaches, and as I told them, we got to go back in and figure out how to make adjustment when we need to. It could be a little adjustment, again, just like I say, even though they had several guys balling on that defensive line, just chipping Malachi maybe will help us out quite a bit. Quarterback, I think both of them was off. That's why I made the change in the second half. Jaden came out first half. All of it wasn't his fault. Receivers still wasn't running their routes, correctly, and short arming, should I say, scared to go across the middle, again. And if you're making plays like that, not making plays like that, it's not going to give yourself a chance to win the game, and I know what kind of players we have, but again, we just got to go out and, and make plays, which I know we're capable of doing. Again, we didn't do that. So then make that change in the second half with Cam, and pretty much the same thing. Guys were coming at us, man, from all different directions. Not having a chance to sit back there and get a proper read. And anytime you get two young quarterbacks, or should I say quarterbacks back there that not used to getting a whole bunch of rushes, in their face, constantly, throughout the whole game, it makes them nervous. So and they are unable to read their keys properly and and deliver the ball where they should. So we got to do a better job up front, giving these guys a little bit more time to get back there, settled in, and make the correct reads, as well as getting that run game to offset some of those rushes, put ourselves in position to run the ball better, and as well as open up the run game, and hopefully get the passing game going as well. So again, we had our chances, drop the touchdown here. That again, that would have mattered, 4 for 19, third down. You can't have that, especially not with this type of offense, and the players that we have that I know that can go out and make plays. So again, we got a lot of things we got to get corrected going into Alabama State, which has a great defense as well. So we got to figure it out as coaches, where we need to, take advantage of Alabama State. And I'm sure they're going to be doing the exact same thing when they look at film and getting ready for us.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Perry Daniels.
Morning, Coach.
Up, Perry.
How are you?
Good, my brother. How are you?
I'm super fantastic, Coach. Coach, it gets extremely more difficult this week. Alabama State's the #1 defense in the SWAC and one of the best defenses in the country. How are you going to improve that offensive line play that quickly?
Yeah, we're gonna watch film, see what they do best, then we're gonna try to get get a game plan together to slow them down. Good. And as you heard me say earlier, with Malachi, I mean, in great defense, great defensive players, you're not going to stop these guys, again, but you can slow them down, kind of contain them, and again, we just got to do what we do best, again, when I say do what we do best, and again, it could be just something real simple, right now, I don't think we got an identity who we are offensively right now, but I would say this is the perfect week going into Alabama State and try to figure that out. Because again, we know what kind of defense they have, and again, we just got to figure out what makes us tick and what's going to work versus that defense.
And Coach, last year your program was the top program in the Western Division of the SWAC. How would you assess this year's season if you were just giving it a evaluation?
Yeah, I mean, we came in the season with a big expectation, obviously, coming off of last year. But again, what we went out and got, we felt that we hopefully we'll be back in the position where we were last year. And again, even though we played, I think we have one of the hardest schedules in the SWAC this year. Playing these schools, Southland schools, and being successful against two of them. Real close against one with UIW, then just again just giving it up in the fourth quarter. Again, I think we played well this year, but again, as you say, you can't just play well. You got to play great. Everybody talk about the SWAC, West, and just the SWAC as a whole. How important it is to just come out and play, football every Saturday or Thursday, whatever day you're going to play on it, man. And again, just trying to keep these young men motivated to understanding, like, every game is different. You can't go into the future game thinking about the past game, and that's one of the things I was trying to get them to understand. Even though we beat a great team, last week, with FAM, we got to forget about that and get ready to play a good team that's coming in here. And and for the most part, we didn't do that, until we came out second half. Defensively decided to wake up. But again, offensively, again, we still didn't put it together. But if I'm assessing from last year to this year, we've been in a lot of close games. We won some overtime games, we lost some overtime games. But again, we just got to go back, right now, finish up this season strong, and and try to win this game against Alabama State, see where we try to get at least to 500. And go from there. Again, we got a lot of guys leaving this year, and we got to regroup. And and that's our plan right now. Just to again, just go out right now and try to get this game against Alabama State, and come out of victory with these guys.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck to you.
Thanks, Perry.
Last question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach McDowell, how you doing today?
What up, Doc?
I'm good. Seeing with Jaden Johnson went down, you went to Cam Peters. Do you know who you're going to have the starter for the game against Alabama State?
Yeah, Jaden will be back in there. Yeah, again, like I said, I pulled him out because again, some of the throws that he was making wasn't good. It's like he wasn't settling down. Again, probably due to the rush that he was getting from the defense, and again, just making bad throws. And again, not all throws was his fault, but again, some of it was the wide receivers not running their routes where they need to run. So, but pulled him out again, just try to set him down, put Cam in there, hopefully trying to get some type of spark going, offensively, and then see where we can, take that offense, that second half. Again, we had our chances even second half, but again, we didn't capitalize on them. But he will start against Alabama State.
And my second question is, even though Alabama State is going to go into the game shorthanded with the suspensions, what are you going to tell your team by not, about not looking ahead as far as with gameplay and stuff, with players being out?
Yeah, we can look ahead again. I mean, sure, we're just trying to get this last game. We're trying to get a win. Again, I don't think we're the type of team. I don't think we've done enough. We haven't been successful enough to look ahead. Again, we got to go out. Try to get to 500, man. And the only way we're going to do that is we win this game against Alabama A&M. No matter who they got out there, I mean, shoot, they still got to play football. They put pads on just like we put pads on. And the better team that goes out there and performs is going to be the team that wins. And hopefully, that's us.
I appreciate you, Coach.
You're welcome, Doc.
Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Thank you, guys.
Sir, thank you. All right, next we go over to Southern University and Coach Graves. Once again, if you do have questions for our coaches, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. Please limit your questions to one initial question, potential a follow-up. If we've got additional time allotted in our coaches' availability, we will work our way back around to get additional questions answered. With that being said, had to be joined by Coach Graves with Southern University. Coach, first and foremost, congratulations on your program clinching the SWAC Western Division title.
Thank you, Drew. I appreciate that. And I want to say to God be the glory for all the wonderful things he has done in my life. Today, I was blessed to wake up to be 56 years old today. And so I'm excited about having another year on earth. I want to thank everybody, all the coaches for the well wishes and congratulatory words and encouragement. I appreciate that. Congratulations to Coach T.C. Taylor at Jackson State for winning the East as well. And we'll certainly meet up in a couple of weeks to play the SWAC championship game. Saturday was senior day here at Southern University, and we had an opportunity to send out 14 young men who's meant so much for our program to be able to salute them in front of the Jaguar Nation and appreciate them for what they've done. It was really good. It was a beautiful day. We knew that a very good UAPB football team was coming in here, and we knew that. And I told the guys, they were coming in here to win. And they were coming in here to win the game, to spoil it a little bit, and to ruin senior day. So we had to be ready to go. And hats off to Coach Hampton and his staff. Those guys are doing a really good job. Coach Hampton is a high energy coach. He's a great person, great personality. We had a great time talking pregame, and I know Coach Maynard alluded to that earlier in the year. I think it's incumbent upon us as coaches to make sure that we get to know one another in this conference as coaches on a personal level if opportunity presents itself, because it's bigger than just football. Yeah, we're competitors. All of us are ultimate competitors. I'm the ultimate competitor, but you got to also be able to show our players, our young men, how to carry ourselves in those competitive environments. And those guys came out and they played, they jumped out on us. And we had to settle down, and we had to really hone in, what we were doing execution-wise. And we were able to get the lead right in the second quarter and score a couple times. And then second half, at halftime, I told those guys, don't look at the score. Don't get caught up into any of that. We just got to win every play. And Coach Hampton, like I said, being the ultimate competitor that he is, those guys did not lay down. They came out and they competed all the way to the end. As he said, the game was close, a lot closer going into fourth quarter than what the final score was. But those guys played well. Hats off to them. They showed a lot of class at the end, and that speaks to his leadership and what they're doing over there. And then I want to thank my assistant coaches, my staff, for doing a tremendous job of getting these young men prepared and ready to go and adjusting, and just believing in the vision that we have here at Southern University.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach, and happy birthday to you as well.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Open it up for questions. First question goes to Jim Kleinpeter.
Happy birthday, Coach. I guess you got a pretty nice present a couple of days early.
Thanks, Jim. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I want to ask you how your if your phone overheated in the last 2 days, and what kind of and you talked about the response, and did you get I guess you got a lot of texts, and who did you hear from that surprised you the most?
Man, Jim, it was after the game. Of course, I didn't have my phone with me, And when I got to my office and I got my phone, it was so many messages on it. Something happened to the phone where I couldn't even see the names. It was just numbers. And I started getting a little concerned because I was like, man, my phone must have crashed. And got a lot of phone calls, got a lot of support from, of course, family, because I'm a family person, family, teammates, a lot of my players that I've coached coached here at Southern, Mississippi Valley, Grambling, Norfolk State, Winston-Salem State. I got a lot of calls from former players, former coaches, pastors, you name it, administrators. It was just, and it's still coming in, and it's coming in from Saturday as well as today being my birthday. So I've been getting a lot of calls. I got a great call right after the game from the legendary baseball coach, Coach Wilbur Ellis, who's a legend at Grambling State University, and that just warmed my heart. Because Coach Ellis means a lot to me. He really embraced me and gave me a lot of wisdom when I was there at Grambling, even before I was there. So that was one of the really good calls I got on Saturday.
Thank you, Coach, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Keisha Kelly. All right.
Hey, Coach, you started off with saying happy birthday. That's what I was going to lead with. You told us your birthday, so happy birthday.
Thank you, Keisha.
You told, and congratulations on securing the SWAC West. But we know before we get into the championship game, we know we got to head to New Orleans. We got to head down for the Bayou Classic. Only coach that has won on both sides with Grambling and Southern. What are you doing to prepare for the Bayou Classic, Coach?
Well, it's business as usual. It's the Bayou Classic, and we have to, of course, the championship game is going to take care of itself, but we got to take care of business in hand. Grambling has a really good football team. It's a rivalry. I call it the state championship, because it's bragging rights, it's recruiting, it's family, sibling rivalry, and all those things that pour into it. And so we have to get prepared for a really, really good Grambling State football team. So it's going to be business as usual. We'll take today off, and then we'll get back to work tomorrow, and we'll work all week. We'll go we'll practice on Saturday. We'll practice Saturday around game time so that we'll get a feel for playing that 1 o'clock kickoff. Is something that I learned from Coach Richardson when he was here, and I did that when I became the interim head coach last year. So it's going to be business as usual because that game means a whole lot. Number one, it's the next football game, and then because it's the rivalry game. So we got to be prepared and locked in and focus on GSU.
All right, good luck, Coach, and tell Big Miles congratulations on their scoop and score. It made it to Sports Center.
I will. Thank you.
Next question goes to Perry Daniels.
Congratulations, Coach, and happy birthday.
Thank you, Perry. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. So, Coach, you are an inspiration, I'm sure, to a number of longtime assistants that finally get a shot at becoming a head coach by winning the Western Division. Talk to us about where your team is currently to the vision you to the vision you had when interviewing for this job.
Well, Perry, to be honest with you, this team is right where I thought we would be. I thought that we would probably have 2 less losses, but I really thought that this team, we had a good enough team, and if we got the right pieces that we needed, right now pieces to add to the team chemistry, I thought that we really had a great chance of competing for a SWAC championship. And I told them, I told the board, the administration, my athletic director, I told them all, I really thought the pieces were in place. Of course, we lost a number of guys, but then we did a really, really good job of recruiting and replacing those guys and adding. So we had a really, really good signing class, and those guys came in and they fit right in. And those guys are playing. A lot of those guys are playing First-year guys, we're playing some true freshmen as well, and that's valuable. We're playing some redshirt freshmen who are starting and playing that's doing a great job. So, Perry, when God gives you a vision, you have to be obedient and follow it. And so, I've been obedient, and he's showing me that the obedience, that he will give us those things that we desire. And so, being obedient and staying, humble and working hard and tuning out the noise. I really thought that we had a shot. I told Coach Richardson, he asked me that, over the summer, and I said, Coach, barring any injuries or major injuries with the team, I think that we can compete for the championship right now.
And you have mentioned your relationship with the legendary Coach Richardson. What were his comments to you after the victory?
Well, you know what's funny? We haven't even talked yet. And I know he's gonna call me today because today is my birthday. I wouldn't be surprised if he pops up in here, because that's just how Coach is. Coach is gonna do the unexpected when it comes to me. And so I know he's gonna call, and we'll talk, and we'll have those special moments. I know he was happy, I know he was elated. I saw him before the game. We talked a little bit, and he just had that big old smile on his face and told me do what I know, what I'm always done. So, just to know and to be able to do that and have him witness that, Perry, words can't explain and describe how I feel.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations again, Coach. Great job.
Thank you.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Coach Graves, how you doing today? Happy birthday. Congratulations. How's it going?
Thank you. I appreciate it. Everything's well.
Yes, sir. The Bayou Classic. You know all about it from both sides. Yourself, Doug Williams, Coach Rob, Coach Richardson, Marino Cassim, and the list goes on. But just talk about this game we're about to see in the Dome, what that's all about, and why it's so important.
Well, you gotta throw all the records out the window. You gotta throw everything out the window, because this is the grandest classic of them all. There are a lot of great classics. All of them are great, but the Bayou Classic is special because of when it's played, where it's played, here in the boot and in the Caesar Dome, the Superdome down in New Orleans. It's nothing like it. The city, is lit from Thanksgiving, well, actually from Monday to the game, to the following Monday. So, I've been in games where the best teams have been, the best teams have gone in, with undefeated records and things of that nature. Teams are having winning records, and then, those teams were fortunate to win. And I've been in a lot of them, and I've been in, this will be, I think, 52, I believe. I think it's the 52nd Bayou Classic, if I remember correctly. If it is, it might be 51. Can't remember. I've been in a lot of them. I've been in about 20, 27, and 28 of them. And I tell you, it's going to be exciting. It's a game that always comes down to the wire most of the time. And so we got to be ready to go. And the team that executes the best, that plays the hardest and plays the smartest, is usually the team that wins. And so we got to be ready to go. Grambling is going to be ready to go because it's Southern, and they want to go out on a high note. And we got to be ready to go because it's Grambling, and we want to finish the regular season on a high note.
Thank you, Coach. Have a great week and enjoy your day.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Doc Holliday.
Morning, Coach, and happy birthday to you.
Good morning. Thank you.
All right. The play with Willie Miles, in my head, all I could think about was Chris Berman saying rumbling, bumbling, stumbling. Tell us about that play, but also tell us about your defense as a whole throughout the whole game against Pine Bluff.
Well, that play was just a testament to, as I told the media on Saturday after the game, that's a testament to a young man who, where the opinion is that he's technically not supposed to be a Division I football player because of his size and his stature and things of that nature. But people fail to realize that he was a very good high school football player, I think on the 5A level. And I want to say he was an all-state football player. And his bloodlines, he has a brother that plays in the NFL. So he's a football player. And he works and he prepares and he makes the most of his opportunities. And because of that, he was rewarded for his hard work and hustle. And so to see that, I was happy. He's a senior. It was senior day for him. And for him to have that opportunity, just speaks volume to the way that he carries his business. Defense has been playing well all year. Guys played lights out. We had some things that we had to fix because they were having their way in the run game a little bit, and we had to fix those. And hats off to the coaches for getting that thing fixed. And one thing about those guys, they take it on, put it on themselves to try to make sure that when teams get in the red zone that we try not to let them score or at least hold them to field goals, because that gives you an opportunity to come back to win if you can do that. So those guys did a great job of the bending and not breaking. They bowed their necks and dug their heels in, and hats off to them for doing such a great job.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Last question goes to Mona Stapleton.
Hey, Coach Graves, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Congratulations on your win. So you served as Southern's interim head coach during last year's 50th anniversary for the Bayou Classic, and you took the victory 27-22. And then it looks like you coached for Grambling in the Bayou Classic in 2021 as the head coach. How important is it this year, having already clinched the SWAC West? How important is it this game for you now that you are the permanent head coach at Southern? How important is it for you?
It's very important because it's the next game, and we need to win the next game. It's very important because it's the Bayou Classic. It's the state championship. It's very important because of all those factors. And it's not whether I was the interim head coach or the permanent head coach. It's important because it's the very next game, and we want to win every game. We don't want to take anything for granted. We don't want to take a team lightly. And so it's important that we prepare for this game to give ourselves the best chance of coming out victorious, because Grambling has a good football team. And as I said, you have to throw all the records out the window. You have to throw all that other stuff out the window, and you got to lock in and focus, because they're going to be fired up and ready to play, and they're coming to win as well. So, Coach Mickey's from New Orleans. Coach Dooley's from New Orleans. Coach Dale Lee is from New Orleans. All those guys on that staff are from that area. So they're going home, and they're going to be fired up, ready to go, and because it's Southern and Grambling. And so we got to be ready to go and make sure that we put ourselves in the best position to win our very next game.
Congratulations again, Coach, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right. We now go over to Texas Southern University and Coach Dishman. Once again, if you do have questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue for Coach. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Dishman with Texas Southern. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing?
Doing great, Coach, and thank you for taking some time out of your schedule to join us. Coach, if you could start us out with an opening statement recapping your team's most recent outing versus Bethune-Cookman.
Well, we're glad to get that victory versus Bethune-Cookman. The most frustrating thing was to see not that many people in the stands. I think that everyone from Texas Southern need to come out and support Texas Southern sports, need to get in the stands and have these guys and cheer these guys on. We probably had less than 1,500 people. We had less than 1,500 people in the stands, and that's the most disappointing thing to see. We're a 30,000 seat stadium and don't have 1,500 people. So the ones who was there, I thank you guys for coming. The ones who was not there, get your tickets and come to the game. Stop saying what we should do and do it.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Charles Bishop.
How you doing, Coach?
How you doing, Charles?
You guys honored 19 seniors this past home game, and I just wanted to ask, what did this group of guys did they mean for you, especially your first year here at Texas Southern?
Well, they helped me out a lot. Those group 19 seniors is easy to coach. They took the leadership, and I'm just really happy for them, and hopefully they can go on and do bigger and better things, not just on the football field, but in life, period.
And a quick follow-up, Athian Renfro, huge game against Bethune-Cookman, but talk about his maturation during the course of the season, running back by committee, and he's stood out.
Yes, he has. Renfro has been practicing good. You know, guys don't understand this. You practice good, you play good. You know, you just can't turn the switch on and say, I'm gonna play on Saturday. That doesn't work. You got to prepare for it. He's been preparing. He's doing a good job. Coach Kimber Anderson is doing a great job with all the running backs and having them all ready to go.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Next question goes to Tanner Spearman.
Good morning, Coach. As you guys wrap up your first year as a head coach here in the SWAC, you've been placed into a very competitive West Division, a lot of close games, standings are tightly packed. What's been your impression of how competitive this division has been, and what have you learned in terms of how to win these close games like the divisional games you're going to have this week against UAPB?
Well, just can't make mistakes. Can't make critical mistakes at times. You know, we jump off sides here. We do something here. We put us in long situations, get behind the sticks, and then we have to make up the sticks. And then on 4th and 3, our defense jump off sides, you know, and then now give them another 4 down. So we have to be able to understand that each game is very critical. Each down is very critical, and preach that each and every day in practice next year.
And Coach, what do you want to see from your defense against UAPB this week, and that the receiver and the quarterback that they got?
Well, we have to, you know, those two are 2 big-time players, so we're going to have to make sure we pay close attention to those 2 players. And I would like to see our defense fly around and play Texas Southern football. Texas Southern football, the way we played versus Prairie View, the way we played last week. You know, those guys, when they get their motor running, they can play.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach Dishman, I hope you and everybody in Houston are well. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good.
Good. Talk a little bit about giving guys an opportunity to play, some of the younger players, the developmental guys, as you get into your last game and kind of move forward with your program.
Well, we develop guys. I have a great coaching staff, first and foremost. So we develop guys during the week. We don't wait till the last game to try to develop guys. That's what they are developed during the week. So during a week of preparation, if any of those guys stick out and can play, they will play. If not, we got to go with what we have.
Coach, Pine Bluff, the opportunity to go on the road and play that last game. What's the thought process going in? And just tell us what you see with regard to Pine Bluff on tape.
Well, first of all, I thought it was going to win the game. I heard it was very noisy down there. It was a tough place to play. Be my first time going down there, but we got to go and win the game. That's our first and foremost thought, is go and win the game. So by any means necessary, get the job done, you know. And I want all guys to do their job. There's no pressure. There's nothing like that, you know, but it's just everybody do their job. We should be able to come out victorious. You know, they have 2 good players on offense. They got some good players on defense too. It's not just those 2 players. Those 2 players just not make up their offense. Their line is very, very stout. So we have our work cut out for us. We got our work cut out for us for sure.
Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Currently taking questions for Coach Dishman with Texas Southern. All right, next question goes to Kyle Mosley.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
Mr. Mosley?
Good, good. Hey, look, we're going into the postseason, and you spotlighted your seniors on Senior Day. Are any of those guys, have they received any invitations to like the Legacy Bowl or the East-West Shrine Bowl or Senior Bowl yet?
Well, I think we have some that's going to be in those games. I'd rather not say it right now. I let them have that joy of saying it, if they would like to put it on the social media sites and stuff like that. So I don't want to steal their joy right now.
Okay. Any of those young men that, I know you don't want to steal their joy, but any of those young men you can be able to give some kudos to right now?
Well, all of them. Not just, I can't pick out one person in general. It's all of them. I think all 19 of them band together and decide, okay, we're the leaders of the group, and the young guys and everyone else have to follow us, and that's what they did. You know, we went through a tough stretch of losing two or three games in a row, and our team got closer. They didn't go apart. We got closer together.
Thank you, Coach.
Final questions for Coach. Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
All right, thank you guys. Have a great one.
Thank you. All right, we now get set to wrap up our media session with our final coach of the day. And first and foremost, Coach Taylor, congratulations on claiming the SWAC Eastern Division.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. And always, we appreciate you take some time out of your schedule to join us. Coach, if you could start us out with an opening statement recapping your team's most recent outing at Alabama State.
Yeah, I think it's like you said, it was a great win for Jackson State and our program, our fans, to go down to Montgomery and, find a way to get the victory against a really good football team. It was a great football game, back and forth deal, low scoring game. Defenses on both sides led the way. But in the end, we were able to generate a couple of explosive plays out there and find a way to win the football game. So feeling really good where we are as a program right now to be East Division champs, but we still got a lot of football still to play. So we're getting geared up to go down here to Lorman this weekend, a big rivalry for us, the Soul Bowl. So we'll start preparing for Alcorn this weekend, this last game of the season.
Appreciate those comments, Coach. First question goes to Keisha Kelly.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Congratulations on clinching the East this weekend. Didn't get a chance to really catch up with you and talk to you. But at the end of the game, I did see the big smile on your face when you were talking against the ESPN. My question is, what are y'all doing to prepare for Lorman? Because I know it's a rowdy environment just like it is in Jackson. So what are y'all doing to prepare for the Alcorn State Braves?
It's just like you said, you just let the players we're letting our players know what to expect in a game like that. A lot of tradition and great players have played in this football game, so just giving them the heads up and understand, even though we have clinched, this is a game we want to win. It's our last game on our schedule, a game we want to go down there and perform well in. A lot of family on both ends, though, in a game like this. Big family rivalry. I got a lot of, cousins, uncles, and everybody that are Alcorn alums. And you just let the players know, and we'll just go prepare like we do every week, though, but just giving them, the heads up when you're walking into an atmosphere like that down in Norman.
Well, good luck, Coach, and ignore your uncles and your cousins from Alcorn, okay?
I will do. Thank you.
Next question goes to Doc Holliday.
What's going on, Coach? How you doing today? Congratulations.
I appreciate it, Doc. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I got some names for you.
Okay.
Robert Hill, James Carson, Robert Hughes, yourself. Those names are synonymous that they were former players that either won the conference or won a share of the division. How does it feel to be in a company like that?
It feels good. It feels good. A couple of those names you on there, you called. I was a player on those rosters, and so I know what type of coaches they were. How they approached it every day. But anytime you can be mentioned with those type of names, those are basically legends in itself. When you talk about Jackson State football, but it feels great, and to be able to say that in just my second year, I can't say enough about it. But still, early in my career here. Still a long ways to go, and just got to do the things that got me here and continue to do those things the right way, building it up making sure we got the right people around the program, and and just continue to set the expectations high.
And my second question is the play that basically sealed the game, the safety. I forgot who was the player was, but the setup was with Philip Webb taking on two blockers. And where the rusher was free to come in. What about that play that just basically sent you into a frenzy?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like that feel when True Thompson made the big play against FAM and caused that turnover. No different. Philip Webb is a great player for us, one of our best D linemen, a big time kid, great size. So we knew that they were probably going to have to double team, and it freed up one of our linebackers, Ashton Taylor, who was having a phenomenal game out there. And when he gets to people, they go down. And he just had a clean shot at the quarterback, and he did a good job of, not getting the target appealing, but still running through the quarterback the right way, which what we preach for as physicality. So it was an explosive play, and then we knew that play had the potential to clinch that game. When you go out there and get those 2 points, that safety, that was a huge pivotal moment in that football game, Doc.
Man, appreciate you. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Coach Taylor, I hope you and everybody in Jackson are well. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed. The rivalry. Oh, congratulations on the East Division title. That's a
Thank you.
beautiful. Yes, sir. That's a beautiful thing. Tell us about this rivalry, Alcorn and Jackson, and your oldest memories of this. This is a long time, big time rivalry. Not only just in the Magnolia State, but it's one of the best rivalries in HBCU sports. Tell us about the memories you have of this particular game.
Oh man, like I said, I can remember watching Steve McNair play in this game. Here in Jackson, how packed the vet was. You talk about people sitting all up the steps, just trying to get a seat in that stadium. When you talk about a game like that, also playing in some great Alcorn Jackson State rivalry games myself, but it's going to be an electric atmosphere. That's a game we call the Soul Bowl. It's usually back when I played in it was always played in Jackson. So now it's a home and home deal. Alcorn is able to host it. We were able to go back and forth on the host home for as the football teams. But everybody's looking forward to this one. Everybody's always looking forward to that Alcorn Jackson State rivalry. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. But I said it earlier, it's a lot of great players that's played in this game, a lot of tradition in this game, and it's big bragging rights for the state of Mississippi.
Thank you, Coach. Have a great week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Next question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Yeah, Coach. The conference this morning announced that 7 of your players are going to be suspended for this upcoming weekend's game. How does that impact your team, and what can you and other coaches do proactively to prevent post-game fights?
Just continue to talk to your players about things like that. It was a high energy football game this past weekend, and that's what you get in those type of games. But as coaches, we got to just continue to preach the discipline and everything to our players and talk about the importance of that. So once I find out who those 7 players is, we'll go from there and move forward and still go down here and be prepared to play in this football game this weekend.
I appreciate it, Coach.
Yep.
Next question goes to Timona Stapleton.
Hey, Coach TC, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Congratulations again on clinching the SWAC East, and thank you for taking the time out for that post-game interview.
No problem. Thank you for what you do.
I just wanted to piggyback off of really what he was saying, and because Southern and Alcorn are probably 2 of the biggest rivalries for Jackson State.
Mm-hmm.
So do you plan on making any post-game adjustments in terms of the handshake in order to ensure that you're going to be able to retain all of your players as they're going to be needed in the Celebration Bowl or the SWAC championship?
Great question. Great question. We talked about it as coaches this morning as a staff. We'll continue to talk about it going into this weekend. But it's our responsibility as a players. You talk about and coaches as well. Talk about sportsmanship. Between players and coaches. And I don't think it should be something where you just basically outlawing handshaking at the end of the game. We just got to be good as a conference, be great as a conference, and understand the sportsmanship side of this. It's friends and family playing against one another all week, former teammates and everything. So I don't want it to be a deal where we're saying we just can't, or we're not allowed, or we can't even get to the point where we can, come across and greet one another, even though, who won or lost the football game. So we did discuss it, but I want to be able to go across and, whatever team wins, the best team that wins, be able to shake the hands and, congratulate in the end.
All right. Thank you, Coach, and you good luck.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Currently taking questions for Coach Taylor with Jackson State. Final questions? Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate it. This concludes our SWAC Football Head Coaches Media Session for Monday, November the 18th. And just a reminder, all SWAC Football Head Coaches Media Sessions are archived on the SWAC Digital Network. Thank you for participation. Have a great day.
Thank you, Andrew.